great thing about being on the West Coast is that even when you spend the night in gas stations, you still wake up to a beautiful view. We are currently in middle of nowhere, Idaho, just off the Salmon River, kind of in central Idaho, I think. I don't know. Idaho's kind of a tall state, so we might be, depending on who you ask, I guess we're central Idaho. But spent the night at the gas station last night. We're kind of in lower altitude than we were in my last video. So it's not as cold, and there's no snow, which is nice. But today, I don't really have a plan, which I guess, in the grand scheme of my life in this channel, I never really do it. But today, we really have no idea where we're going. I have an idea for where I want to go, I think, today. But before we do anything, first things first, we're making some breakfast. Today, we're kind of going with a classic Ryan breakfast, good old-fashioned egg sandwich. And I was kind of debating for the last few days whether I want to drive south or stay north by all the rivers and kind of be more out in the middle of nowhere for longer, then drive south, get into some cities and see all that kind of stuff. But I think, I haven't fully decided yet, but I think I'm going to stay north because there's just so much more to explore up here. There's so many more rivers to take my fly fishing rod to. So I think I'm going to stay up here, at least for a little longer, generally. But that could always change, I don't know. Ready for this? Beautiful. So I think my plan for today is I'm going to drive a little bit south to a place that I've kind of always wanted to go, but never made it out to, and that is Craters of the Moon National Preserve. National something. It's not a national park. It's a super cool lava field. Actually has nothing to do with the moon or anything from space. It's just a bunch of volcanoes, but I mean, you wouldn't even know I was at a gas station right now with the view we're looking at. Just as long as you don't turn around and look the other way. That road. Welcome, Craters of the Moon National Preserve. It is incredibly windy. Yep. I think I'm gonna blow away. But the reason that I think this place, and I apologize if the wind is super loud, I don't really know how this is getting out, but it was formed more recently. And by recently, I mean 2,000 to 5,000 years, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a long time. But this right here is the first stop on this loop. It's kind of like a loop all the way around the park. And what all this black stuff is all over this is called cinder. But basically what cinder is stuff that erupts out of the volcano in a gas-rich eruption and kind of solidifies before it comes back and hits the ground. So it's like these porous kind of moon-like rocks that eject out of the volcano and create these cinder cones. But before we head up to the top, we're gonna take some pictures of the stuff before here. So you would think when you're up here you'd be able to see like kind of a crater where the volcano used to be, but as you can tell it gets pretty windy and the wind carries the rocks, fills it in. You're seeing kind of actively why you can't see the cone or the center of the crater of the volcano is because the wind just covers it up over the last 2,000 to 15,000 years. And it's kind of cool up here. You get a really nice view of all the different volcanoes off in the distance, the different types of them. At least walking down is easier. So there's this, which is a spatter cone. From what I have read online before I came here, and from the sign that was over there, I walked backwards because the wind is so strong I can't focus, but this is a spatter cone, and it's a lot bigger of chunks than the cinder over there. But it almost reminds me of those, I don't know if you guys can tell, but those little beach sand castles you can make that where you take the sand and you like the dribble castles, you like dribble the sand down and it makes a little tower. It's kind of what this is essentially like, but nature's version of it. But this one, you can still see the crater on the inside of it because the wind, oh, it's so nice and not windy in here, doesn't blow the rocks around to kind of cover it up, so you can see how far down it goes. That's crazy. Also a little bit scary, but it would just spatter out in these like big globs that all coalesce on the side here and create this kind of mini lava flow type volcano thing. But that's pretty cool. I wonder how far down that goes. But the cool thing about this area is it's part of this thing called the Great Rift. So the Great Rift is this massive volcanic fissure that runs 52 miles, and it's basically just this gigantic crack in the Earth's crust, which is why Idaho is also home to the most hot springs than any other state in the country, because there's so much geothermal activity. But that crack in the Earth's crust is basically what caused craters of the moon and a lot of other geological sites along this area. And the wild part is it's still considered active. It hasn't erupted in 2,000 years, and it probably won't anytime soon, but it's not a matter of if it will, it's a matter of when it will. All right, well, I was gonna go to one more spot here in Craters of the Moon, but for some reason a lot of the stuff is closed off. I was gonna take you into some of the lava tubes and the caves, but they were closed off today, so we couldn't go in. I think now I'm going to head to the closest town, just somewhere that has some sort of civilization again. So I will see you guys when I get there. So we made it to the closest semi-large, I guess, town. Pocutello. Pocutello. However you say it. It's spelled like this. Don't really know much about this place, but I know it has a laundromat, Planet Fitness, and is the smile capital of the United States. And that's not just something that people say. In 1948, during like kind of a tough winter here in Pocutello, the city issued an ordinance that made it illegal to not smile, to kind of help morale in the city and help people be happier. I don't think it was ever supposed to be serious, but it's stuck, and now they have a celebration every year, Smile Day or something. But I have run out of socks and underwear. I feel like, I don't know what's happening. I think maybe I'm losing them at laundromats, but I feel like the number of socks and pairs of underwear that I have diminish weekly. I really need to get a new laundry bag. They can't keep using trash bags. And for anyone wondering, that is what $20 in quarters looks like. I think it's so small to pull this out. All right, so we've got 20 minutes till our stuff's done on the laundromat. I am starving. I haven't eaten since breakfast, so I'm gonna walk around. And I think there's a food truck right there, which is nice. Can I just do a quesadilla? Boom. I feel like typically when I go to food trucks, it's always like very hit or miss. Like either it's like really, really good food, or it's just really not good food. I feel like this is a perfect middle ground. Like it's nothing spectacular, but it is extremely good. I don't think I've ever eaten a quesadilla that fast in my life. Ugh. Well, since I ate it so fast, I have time to go check out this Western store. Holy boots. So many. Well, the place was pretty much exactly what you'd think it'd be. Wish I was cool enough to wear a cowboy hat sometimes. I've never had a laundromat that makes you pay for a full cycle on the dryer. Usually you can put in like 25 cents and it gives you like 7 minutes or something, but this one you had to pay the full 40 minutes and I'm probably only gonna use 20 of it. But, I just wait for that. Got myself a new laundry bag, but it's essentially just a glorified large trash bag. But got about a month and a half supply of quarters for the laundromat now. I'm gonna get this laundry all put away, and then we have one more place to go. the gym. So I'm gonna head in there, gonna work out, and we're gonna find somewhere to camp tonight. But I do want to play some Xbox, so I've got my game updating, but we're getting 5.1, 5.3 megabits per second. We need 23 gigabytes. So I might have to hook it up to my phone, because sometimes, a lot of the time, my phone is faster once I get out of the gym, because I need my phone for headphones. But hopefully that's updated by tonight. If not, I guess we're not playing. Maybe we'll play something else. But again, I'm not gonna bring you guys in there with me, so I'll see you when I get out. Oh no. All right, gym's done. All fresh and clean. Showers are so underrated, especially we don't get a nice one every single day. Also, the game, Marvel Rivals, just wasn't gonna update in time to play anything tonight. And I was playing Sea of Thieves for like the first time with my friends a couple weeks ago. That one had a smaller update, so I decided to update that. So we're gonna play that tonight instead, hopefully. And I think for camp tonight, I'm gonna keep it pretty simple and camp somewhere that I actually haven't camped, now that I'm thinking about it, in a long time. Also, if you can't tell, the sun has set, so it is dark out. So I don't really feel like driving far, but good thing there's a Walmart 4 minutes down the road where I can camp and hopefully get a good night's sleep. It is quite literally right across the street. I haven't camped in a Walmart in a long time, but there are a few things that I like to do when camping in a Walmart. One, look online, make sure that it's kind of allowed somewhat, or at least not allowed. And then typically I try to park under a light somewhere in the back. So those spots right there look kind of nice. But I don't like to be too far in the back in like a dark corner, because then I feel like it's the same thing with like, and I've said this before, like living in a house. You have a porch light on, it just makes it less likely that someone's gonna break into your house or try something. So I can deal with, personally, the extra light coming through my roof vent fans and like the cracks and crevices and all of my curtains. It's worth it for me to feel a little bit less like someone's gonna come mess with me. And this Walmart's particularly nice because if I get a late night craving for a Diet Coke, which sometimes I do, most of the time I don't have access to one, there's a gas station right there that I can run to and grab a snack, Diet Coke, whatever I want. But with that being said, it is time, oh God, for dinner. And I didn't really pick up anything for dinner today, so we're just gonna make something out of what I have. So I think tonight we're gonna go with a taco bowl with some leftover bison meat that I have from last week. Should still be good. Some cheese, onion, some canned stuff that I can throw in there. Got some rice. What do I got? Ooh, I got sweet corn creamy style. I don't know if that'll be good. Sliced carrots. The creamy style is really throwing me off. I think we're gonna go without that. We're just gonna go with a simple bison beef. This is also sticky rice. Not the best option, but kind of just going with what I got. So I've also gotten a lot of comments on my videos recently telling me that I look like I've lost weight and I'm looking healthier and all this kind of stuff, and I have. I was at 214 at my heaviest. I'm currently at 190-ish, so down 24 pounds. Right now I'm kind of focused on just putting on muscle than I am losing weight. So for everyone commenting, telling me I'm still eating unhealthy, you're right. I am eating a little bit unhealthy. One, because I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't really care to build that crazy physique. I just want to be healthier. And two, I enjoy food. But there's things that I can do, like smaller portions and eating healthier generally. Doesn't mean if I go to a bar and I want a beer and some beer, cheese, and pretzels, I'm not gonna eat it, because I am. But I just know what that costs me now, so I'll choose to eat it less often. And what I mean by I know what it costs me, I think this is the biggest thing that's kind of helped me stay consistent in the gym. And if you've been looking to stay consistent in the gym or get in the gym or anything like that, my number one piece of advice, not that I'm in any way qualified to give gym, fitness, or anything like that advice, I've just generally been a little bit healthier. But what worked for me is 2 weeks. And kind of what I mean by 2 weeks is that in the beginning, when you're just starting out going to the gym, what I kind of found is that right around the 2 week mark of staying consistent, going to the gym pretty much 5 days a week on average, you start to notice a little bit. Like you start to notice that maybe your love handles are shrinking, or you can lift a little bit more weight, or you're slimming down a little bit, or any of the above. You start to notice something. Like around that mark is when you'll notice like the first signs of like looking in the mirror, you'll think, whoa, I look a little skinnier, or I look a little bigger, or whatnot. And then you start to get that itch. You're like, this is actually working. It's not like BS, maybe I can make a difference. And then it makes you stay even more consistent. And then you start to think about, when you're eating food, giving yourself a little bit of perspective for what that food is going to cost you, because you know how hard you've been working in the gym and with your diet and all this kind of stuff. So you see a bag of Doritos, and now you kind of have the perspective to know how hard it is to burn 400 calories, which I think is what the average bag of those small packs of Doritos is. How much it takes to work off that 400 calories versus how quickly you can eat that 400 calories. And when you've genuinely put in that work and tried to lose that weight or do something, you might second guess eating those chips. So I think the number one thing with the gym is just getting past that 2-week mark, giving yourself that perspective, and then whatever your goal is. Mine isn't really to build this crazy physique, it's just to be healthier, be leaner, kind of look better, feel better. That works for me because I like eating food, I like cooking food, and I'm probably never gonna stop that, so I don't really care about the physique too much. But the thing with that is you can't lie to yourself. Like, you have to actually go for 2 weeks, put in that work, and I think it's all cascading from there. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a exercise science major, I don't know anything. I think my personal belief is that it's very simple. Calories in versus calories out. But anyways, do with that what you will. I just thought I'd bring it up because I've been getting a lot of comments about it. But I think that's all the prep work we have to do, at least for the pre-cooking. Waiting for our water to boil, because in order to cook this right, you just put it in boiling water for 10 minutes and then it's done. Also, I just realized I don't have any taco seasoning for these tacos. And I do have all the seasonings that you need to make taco seasoning. I just don't feel like shaking them all out. But I do have these 2 packets of ramen chicken flavoring, probably from a 1.5 years ago. So we're gonna use that and see how that tastes. Hopefully it's good, don't really know, but I'll let you know. But we can throw our onions in the pan, get those started to cook down along with some garlic. We'll let those cook for about, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then we'll throw in our beef, or I guess our bison, and get that cooking down with these onions. And then just like that, dinner is done. Rice can come out. Oh, it's so hot. Now we can assemble our bowl. We've got rice going in, ground bison going in, tomatoes, and cheese on top. And that, my friends, is a very basic, easy, quick taco bowl. Get that all mixed in nicely. Hopefully get that cheese nice and melty while everything's still nice and hot. I should have mixed it in while the meat was in the pan, but beautiful. And I think I actually am going to run over to the store real quick and grab some sody pop. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Take out my trash while I go. And another thing, when I'm stealth camping, I never get out of my van with the lights on. I do not want to draw any attention to myself. And it's pretty dark in here when the lights are off. So that's good. Yeah, we're just in the back of the lot over here. I have to get myself a caffeine-free soda, maybe like a 7-Up, Canada Dry, Squirt. Baggage acquired. The Walmart security guard is right behind me. I don't know if he's gonna be upset that I'm parking here. Act normal. Alrighty. This Walmart does allow it though, so I think the security isn't for me, it's for other people. Maybe. But anyways, let's eat. Alright, so I cleaned up the van before I eat dinner. But I got this like Diablo sauce I'm gonna throw on there too. There we go. Ready to play some video games, eat some dinner, stealth camping in the Walmart parking lot. So I was also sick and tired of buying batteries, and I sit pretty close to my TV, if not at my desk. So I got myself a wired controller now. But log in, figure out how to play this game. Got ramen seasoning. It's actually pretty good. Wow. It's pretty salty, but it is good. This is my first time kind of playing this game solo, so I'm playing the tutorial just to get my bearings on what I'm supposed to do, because even when I was playing with my friends, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. All right, so I'm trying to figure out how to even get my boat moving here. Do I have an anchor down? Oh, where's the anchor? I don't know if you guys can see it. I was wondering why I felt so cold this morning. It was 70 degrees yesterday, and today, I don't know if you can see it, but it's snowing. Yesterday the high was 70 and the low was 55. Today the high is 55 and the low is 33. It's supposed to be 28 degrees on Saturday. I'm gonna be honest, I was definitely not planning for it to be this cold today. I was up further north in the mountains like 2 days ago and it was nowhere near this cold. I think I have made the decision. I am gonna be heading south from here, because I want to get south before it gets too hot this summer. Hang out down there, especially with my fan broken, which I need to fix. I'm gonna head south towards Arizona, and then we're gonna come back up here later in the summer when it's a little bit warmer to do a little bit more river fishing and that kind of stuff. Oh, wow, feels so good. So warm. There we go, nice hot cup of broth. I really truly still can't believe it's snowing outside. Like going to bed last night, I would have never in a million years thought I was gonna wake up to snow. I was sleeping in my boxers and a t-shirt outside of the covers because I was kind of hot. So we've got kind of a long drive ahead of us for the next 2 days, so I think I'm going to try to get an early start this morning. I think it is time, now that the van is all cleaned up and ready to go, that we leave our wonderful Walmart parking lot in search of bigger, better things. As always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel, and hopefully next time when you see me, it won't be as cold and it won't be as snowy. Till then, I will see you guys next time.